sun and earth and water. Refrain from judgment. Who am I to withhold a blanket and a bowl of rice?
Believe it or not, folks, we are on our final section on the guards for the Hipster Longsword series, the Low Guards. My name is Connor Kebkow. I'm the head instructor of the Philadelphia Common Fencers Guild, and we've gone through quite the assortment already, 8 in total, and this will be our conclusion on the section of the guards for the Hipster Longsword series before we move on to more practical application of the earlier introductory chapter of Vadi's Longsword text. Let's get started. The low guards in Vadi all have common pairs with each other, and to start off we'll be looking at Porta di Zenghiaro, as shown here, or as it is commonly known, Boar's Tooth, the best guard to launch the reverse errata to Mandrito Candente combo. Vadi shows the guard held closer towards the lead leg, although I prefer to have it with the pommel rested on the hip. With the sword closer towards your lead leg, I find it a lot easier to launch thrusts. Although held forward, it is readily able to make the classic Boar's Tooth combo. I find that I personally prefer it held a little bit further backwards, thus allowing a lot more versatility. The guard is mostly primed for that specific technique, but with a little bit of use and some playing around, you could easily find many different ways to use Dente di Zenghiaro. Following up Dente di Zenghiaro is its pair, Dente di Zenghiaro de Fora, or Boar's Tooth on the outside. Simply put, it is so quick and easy to transition from Dente di Zenghiaro to Dente di Zenghiaro de Fora. As we can see here, we can just pass right back and forwards through this guard, and you can do almost all the exact same stuff that you do with Boar's Tooth on the outside, although I personally find it a lot easier to make quick and powerful covers from, transitioning from one side of your body to the other, setting up a lot of the actions which we'll be discussing in our next chapter of the Hipster Longsword series. This guard, I don't really have that much video of me using, but I will show a good bit of demonstration here on different ways to use the guard. I think that personally it's set up very well for thrusts, and for counter thrusts, or anybody attempting to close into the narrow game. Following up these demos of thrusting, we'll be seeing Porta di Ferro, Piana Terreno, or simply put, Porta di Ferro. There are 2 Porta di Ferros, the same way that there are 2 Dente di Zenghiaros, and Porta di Ferro is kind of the classic staple guard to make the exchange of the thrusts from. Described very early on in the introduction chapters of Vadi's texts, the exchange of the thrusts remains relatively unchanged from Fiore's use of the technique. For those who don't know the technique, it's relatively straightforward and is a fantastic counter to any type of thrust. You start off with a simple step offline while your opponent is attempting to prepare their thrust, bringing your sword into longa with the pommel low and the point high, and then delivering the thrust, exchanging and countering their blow by taking the center line. Now that we've seen a little bit of what to do from Porta di Ferro, Piana Terrena, we will look at Mezzana Porta di Ferro Forte, which some people interpret as this, but it's really jank, and I personally just don't think that it matches the picture that well, although the picture is relatively shitty. Mezzana Porta di Ferro, or as I just like to call it, Porta di Ferro Forte, is one of my favorite guards to use, and it's excellent at countering different types of attacks that your opponents throw at you, allowing you to easily transition them into parries. Vadi tells us that it's very good at throwing cuts, and that thrusting, I believe the specific quote is, "I deal death with thrusts and cuts." And I've toyed around with a interpretation that the guard can make the exchange with just a pass of the other leg into posta longa. It matches well with what Vadi tells us about being able to serenely move through different guards, but it can be kind of weak. In summation, these are the last bit of our guards, and I look forward to our next section of videos, which is going to be a lot more technically focused and about body mechanics, along with many, many other subjects. And I hope you've enjoyed what we've gone through so far. That'll be it for us on the guards. I look forward to our next adventures. Until then, I'm Connor Kemp Cowell. This has been Hipster Longsword Part 4.